What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? This is your boy Is Nefarious, and I am here for another episode following the managerial career of Cristiano Ronaldo. But before we jump into it, if you're enjoying the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, we got a link in the Discord, a link for the Discord in the description. Go ahead and click on that. Join in on all the talk and all the fun. We are here for another episode following the managerial career, and we gotta talk about some things. Now, one of the main things we gotta do is talk about the youth squad. We kind of haven't been paying attention too much to the youth squad, and we want to do some of that today, setting development plans, taking a real close look at them, and maybe even jump into a youth tournament match. That could all be on the slate today, as well as getting a little bit deeper in this sim. I think that's going to be one of the goals, is to get a few months in and let the storyline start to develop, because early on it's not a lot of storylines to go off of. We don't know enough about our players. We got to learn more about this tactic, so we want to get a little bit deeper, see how this team does, and jump right into the storylines and all the fun that FC brings in managerial career mode. Now, one of the things I wanted to cover with the youth squad is we have some youth squad scouting reports, or our scouts that are out there looking for new youth members do have some updates for us. But here's the thing, we cannot afford them. Our financial situation is dire right now. That's one of the biggest storylines of this series so far, is we've been a little reckless with money, and now we cannot even afford any of these young superstars that our scouts went out and found. So even in Portugal, we got Raldo Andrade, who we cannot sign, even though he's not great. 13 years old, 41 to 55 overall, and a 53 to 71 potential. Nothing too crazy, but we can't even afford him anyway if we wanted to. But we also got to talk about the youth squad in general. Remember our rule: it can't be 10 over the max overall of the team right now, or the max overall player of the team right now, which is a 63 overall. So if their potential is above 73 by the time it is by the time we come around to signing them, we cannot sign them. They gotta rot in our youth academy until we meet that requirement, I should say, or rule. So we get a bunch of guys here. As you can see, we get a lot of left mids, and as you know, the left mid doesn't really fit in the tactic we're running. As you can see, Tilla also plays striker, Walters also plays right wing, so that's good, but right mids and left mids don't fit in the tactic. Other than that, the right back does not fit in the tactic as well, so we gotta work on actually no, the right back does fit in the tactic. What am I saying? I thought we had a wide right back instead of a regular right back, so the right back definitely fits in our tactic. So we gotta decide what we're gonna do with these few left mids and right mid that also don't play a secondary position that fits in the tactic. So that's a big decision that we have to make now. So with the development plans all done, here are some of the changes we're going to make. So Steven Moran, he might not end up being on the squad, or we might not be able to sign him because of his potential being too high. He could be a really good talent that will go out to a better team instead of joining Newport County. As you can see, he's got 3 play styles, pretty decent skill move, and already a 59 overall. Taking a look, we're gonna have him convert to a right winger, and one of the reasons is at the left mid he plays an inside forward role, and that would be perfect if we switched him to the right wing and he could play inside forward. As you can see, he's also good athleticism with the sprint, speed, agility, acceleration. He's pretty good at attack position. His reactions, his stamina are good, his balance is good, and taking a look, the ball control, the dribbling is good. So him playing on a offensive role, I think it makes a lot of sense, especially with some of the play styles that he has in the box, having some ping passes, some stuff that he could do really would help this offense if we're able to sign him. But we're gonna move him to right wing. When it comes to Mason Willis, we're going to move him to left wing, more so plays on the outside. As you can see, he's a wide midfielder, so he'll be able to continue doing that by playing a winger role on that left side. Walters already has right wing as a secondary position. We're going to put him on right wing just to completely change its position to right wing. And then we have Tilla, who could play striker already, so we're just going to put him on striker to go ahead and play striker fully. And then we have Paul Cabanu, who we're going to put on a right back situation. I know it says he could play inside forward, but we're going to have him play right back. I like the right-footedness. He's got good sprint speed and stamina, so he can run up and down the pitch. And we need some, development there. We need some extra guys there. I know the play style doesn't really fit, but we do need some extra guys at the right back position. So we're gonna put him at right back, even though we still got Gallagher here. We could even switch him to left back, but with the right foot, I'd rather have him play the right back. And we could actually do that right now, because I just realized Gallagher also has a left foot. So let's go ahead and put Gallagher on a left back situation, and then we'll keep Cabanu at a right back. So that's perfect. So Gallagher's going to left back, Cabanu to right back, and that helps fill out some of the needs that this team has. But I just wanted to break down the youth squad a little bit, take a look at some of the development plans, and now it's time to really dive into the sim and then potentially jump into a youth tournament game so we could get a real good look at some of these guys we might call up. So while we'll go through the sim, we're gonna stop and take a look at some of the results, but we'll also take a look at stuff like this when we get offers for players. So Shane McLaughlin is being offered by Madehome Kayserispor. Did I do good? Did I do good on that? Definitely was a tough one. So 280 to 520 is the fair offer for McLaughlin. 420 was the actual offer. Now the other question we have to ask is, where is Madehome, and is it a improvement for his career at this point? So the club offering is actually in the Turkish league and in the League One, which they call the Super League. And in 8th place right now with 1 win, no draws. Now here's the question: will a player like this, it might be a slight step forward, will a player like this relocate to Turkey to play soccer instead of staying in England where it's closer to home? That's the other question. So let's take a look at what the offer is once again and make a decision on this. So after mulling it over in our limited resources, I don't think this is a move where we have to do it because it's a step in the right direction, because it's not really a step in the right direction. It might be a lateral step. You're playing in a lesser league that, might be able to make the Champions League, but honestly, at 27 years old, I doubt somebody like this would want to relocate his family or relocate himself over to a Turkish league. So we're going to go ahead and reject this offer because it doesn't benefit us and it also doesn't benefit the player. So take a look. We also got a couple unread messages. There was one where Townsend wanted us to make a decision on bringing guys in. Obviously, with the lack of money we have, it's going to be tough to do that. This next game is important for our season. I feel like blah blah blah. So Tom Davies wants to play. That's one of the questions. And Josh Martin also wants to play in the spot of David Ajaboye. And you know what? He is going to play in a position of him. Even though he can't play right wing, we're going to put him there because we really don't have a lot of options. I'll tell him, don't worry, we'll come to the right decision. And then Davies, I think, is already playing, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go over to our squad hub. And no, he is not playing. So honestly, he's not good enough to make the first team. So that being said, he's not going to play in this game. And then we also got a scouting report from Ireland. We need some of these scouting reports to be completed so we could start thinking about people we could bring in, because we do need to bring in some people, but this is going to be a slow, painful, realistic rebuild. So let me know how you feel about the way I'm handling the transfer, or the scouting I should say. Have it on slow for normal players and then have it on normal for star players. Do you think that's a little too much? I think because of our current situation with our scouts, all of them being 1-star, it takes them longer to, go ahead and figure out how good these players are. I think that's what it is. I think once we get better scouts, you'll see those reports coming in quicker. But I'm not fully aware of how it works when it comes to the transfer scouts or the pro scouts compared to the amateur scouts. I kind of know how the amateur scouts work, but the pro scouts, not too sure how that works. So it's time to jump ahead in the sim. We'll obviously jump into these matches, show you the results of them. Hopefully we could, come out with a lot of wins and, have a great start to our managerial career as Cristiano Ronaldo. Hopefully we could make him the GOAT, but it's time to really jump into these sims. So taking a look at the results against Doncaster here in a League 2 matchup, we lose 2-1, 25% on the possession rate. We had 4 shots, 1 chance. They had 6 shots and 3 chances. So definitely, got outworked. I do want to mention that we did have the second team out there, so that's kind of one of the reasons why we didn't perform so hot. Our first team was a little tired, so we did not have the first team out there. We did have the second team out there, and we got a loss because of it. Hopefully with the first team we get a little bit more success, but right now in League 2 I think we're 0-2 to start, so that's not great. Definitely got to work on that. I think we won in the cup, but we lost in everything else. Yeah, 0-2 so far. Not even a draw. We only have 1 goal for and 3 goals against, so definitely gonna work on some things. We're gonna get an in-league offer for Townsend. We're gonna obviously reject that. You're not gonna get our captain unless it's going to be, a league above or a couple leagues above. So yeah, they're trying to get our captain. Not gonna happen. Davies is a little bit disappointed. Keep working on improving your game, and perfect. So, two games down. We're 0-2 in League 2, but we'll get another good look at the first team in our next matchup against Accrington Stanley. All right, storylines are now starting to develop. The issues with this team. Is this tactic even good? Accrington Stanley beats us 1-0. The probably worst team in the game. Probably the worst team in the game, I should say. 54% on possession, 4 shots, 3 chances, 4 shots for us, 1 chance. This sim is okay. It just seems like it doesn't really capture the game enough. So I think we're gonna do a tactical view, and then obviously that's gonna take a little bit longer, and then we'll jump in at the end and talk about the things that happen. But Accrington Stanley beats us 1-0. We got a lot of question marks when it comes to this team, because this was the first team that was out there trying to win, and it did not work out. We even put up a goal, so a lot of questions that we have, and we got to work on that. And here in the Carabao Cup, we are going to get smoked by West Brom. So you can see 24 shots, 11 chances, 70% possession percentage, 30% on our side, 1 shot, 1 chance. As you can see, we went with the second team once again. So maybe that's one of the reasons we got smoked, and West Brom's probably 10 times better than us. I gotta go see where West Brom is. I don't know what league they're in. They're probably in a league above us. That's probably a fact. So let's go take a look at that. As you can see, they're in the EFL Championship League. So yeah, definitely a league above us, and it showed out there as we got smoked. Our second team, I should say, got smoked. Maybe we're going a little too, switchy, or playing a little safe with the second team playing a lot here early on in the season. I think as the sharpness gets there and the guys get used to the season, we'll have more instances where we're playing the first team back-to-back on short rest. But right now we're trying to be safe with our team, and maybe that's not the way to go about things. As you can see, the youth tournament is going to end soon. We're actually not going to jump into one yet until we get to know more about these youth players, but we do have youth players ready to switch positions, so that's huge. So we're going to change him to a left back. Gallagher's going to move to left back. Moran is going to move to a right wing. You're going to have a left wing for Willis, and then you're going to have right wing for Walters. You still got a few others working on it. Tilla has got 66 weeks Then you have 64 weeks for Cabanu there. So we got a few more, a couple more position changes to go. But finally, we're getting some movement from the youth squad, and hopefully we can learn how good this youth squad is, and potentially even call one of these guys up if they fit in the rule that we have when it comes to youth squad. It is deadline day and here in the transfer window, so it's time for us to take a look to see if we could bring somebody in to help out this team. Now, taking a look at the team, where we could improve that right back position, we could definitely improve, maybe even improve the box-to-box midfielder that we're using. We are using a half winger now on the other center mid, which we'll see how that affects the overall tactic. But I think where you have the box-to-box center mid and then also that right back, we could potentially look at options if we could afford it, because again, our financials right now aren't great, which I'll show you right now with the budget. You can see current budget is 11k, spent this season 2 million, so we don't got a lot of money to work with. And that could hinder this first transfer window and us trying to improve this team. But we'll take a look at some of our options and see if there's anybody we could go out there, maybe even loan at this point, because we do have a few that we're loaning. I think we have 4 loans. We could go with 5. So maybe there's somebody we could potentially loan. So let's take a look at our options and let's see if we make a move in this transfer deadline. So after reviewing all our options, a lot of people aren't fully scouted right now. We don't know their value. That's the tough part about, or one of the obstacles that we gotta, go through with the scouting plan we have. And we'll have to do some testing later on when we do get better scouts to see if it's still as long of a process as it is now, because a lot of these guys are still 30 days out, but we do have somebody we're interested in, and that is a Fetty here. That is what Ross County. He could play right back and center back, so he would improve the right back. So we are going to approach to loan this club. The club isn't interested in loaning this player. You could try approaching him for a purchase or look at other loan targets. So we can't even loan him out, and then they're not even willing to sell him. So we have 0 options. The only options we're gonna have is going to be the free agent options that are out there, and a lot of them are pretty good. I don't want to bring in a free agent that's a 70+ overall already. We do have a rule on bringing in guys, as well as a rule as well as the youth rule that we use. So we'll give it some time. Hopefully, something comes as far as a player to help us. But it looks like we're not even going to be able to sell anybody, which we're working on there. This deadline's going by real quick with no offers, 0 offers. We don't have anything to offer anybody else, so looks like nobody's coming in and nobody's going out in this first transfer window, which by right, you first join a team, I mean, it's easier to sell than to bring some people in, because you kind of got to learn them and scout them before you bring them in. So we bring in nobody, and we're gonna have to wait until the second transfer window to do something big. So a boring first transfer window for this Newport County, besides the fact that we're really struggling to learn this squad and this tactic, and starting to see some positives from this tactic. So with questions about the tactic, we're here for a match day, and right now, as you can see on the right hand side, we have 0 points. We are 0-3. 0-3, I should say, because of draws. We are 0-3 so far in League 2, and our only win was in the Carabao Cup, where we won 1-0. So we got to figure it out. We got to offer for Will Dig, who's a 32-year-old, and honestly, even if he doesn't want to go, we are willing to accept this because we don't use him. So let's go ahead and delegate, and it's 120 to 64. So let's delegate. You want 120. We'll say, yeah, 95 and 180. That works. So we're going to delegate that, see if they end up biting and giving us some money, because we do need some money. We also get some email. Transfer window is closed, as we know. And it's time to jump into another game against Morecambe FC. it's time to jump into that game, and hopefully we could finally get something going with this team. It's been really bad, not generating enough offense. So hopefully we could make some tactical changes and get a some resemblance of an offense going here in this tactic. It's been no secret that this team has been a disappointment. Newport County and the tactic has been a disappointment. It's going to get off to a rough start against Markham, as you're going to see a snipe from outside the box. Cristiano Ronaldo is not happy with it, but here comes the offense. They must have heard how upset we were, as Baker Richardson's going to drive that home past the keeper to make it 1-1, and then he's going to get another chance here. He's going to volley it from just at the top of the box. That's driven home, so that's 2 goals already. Look at that beauty, beats the keeper once again. So it's a 2-1 game, and here comes the offense. Here's Baker Richardson once again, drives it home in the back of the net. So 3-1, and that's a natural hat trick for Baker Richardson, and Townsend loves it. The captain fist bumping, and here comes Baker Richardson once again, and that's going to be a save this time. That was his bid for 4 goals in this game. What a save by the keeper. And then here comes Hoodleen, who finds a rebound, punches it home to make it 4-1. They really answered the bell when it came to this offense. They must have heard how upset we were, because they showed up and showed out, and Townsend on the other end making a huge save late in the game. Not necessarily needed, but definitely something that helped. So a hat trick by Baker Richardson gets Newport County finally into the win column, and you gotta love it. And we're getting pretty deep into the season, so let's continue the sim. Let's see if we can maintain some of the success that we found with our tactic. We made a few changes. Let me show you what we did. So a couple little changes we made is Baker Richardson is now going to be a poacher on support at that right striker, and that left striker is going to turn into a target forward on attack. And then on the back side, we did change one center back to be a build-up type of center back on the left side, ball playing build-up, and then the other side is going to be ball playing defend, and we turn Townsend into a sweeper keeper. So hopefully this tactic now is something that we can rely on consistently. It did show out in that game with 4 goals, and Baker Richardson having the game of the season thus far. So let's jump into more action and see if it keeps continuing. So after delegating, we actually get a better offer from the club, offering for Aaron Wildig. They're offering 115. We're gonna go ahead and accept the 115. So Wildig is out. We're gonna get some money in, and they want James Clark, another older center back. He's 34 years old, 6 foot. We do have an influx, and he doesn't really fit the scheme. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna delegate this one 60,000 to 32,000, or 32,000 to 60,000. We're gonna delegate. We want to go up to 85 and no less than 40, which is what they offered. So out is Wildig and potentially Clark as well. Both could be on the move here shortly, and we'll see if that happens. But we got another game here against Port Valley, or Port Vale, where we're gonna try to continue some of that offensive success we had from the last game, or the previous game. Hopefully Baker Richardson, with his new role, I should say, in this new tactic, continues the goal scoring performance that he put on last game. And just like that, the positives from last game were wiped away by Port Vale, as they beat us 3-1. Taking a look at some of the events, we had a own goal in the first half, which jumped us out to a 1-0 lead. It was a deflection off one of their own, and then 3 goals in the second half to really put this game out of hand, with Curtis scoring twice at the 77th minute and the 81st minute. So a 3-1 loss in this game to Port Vale. So we're back to wondering what is going on with this team once again. So it's been up and down. We really got to figure it out, and maybe next transfer window we'll be able to bring in some guys, or maybe we'll get a young prospect to step in and be a difference. But right now it's not looking too good. And the offer for Clark is going to break down in negotiations between the assistant manager and the other club, Derby City, like Derby County. Derby City, who is offering for James Clark, and back down after they talked for a little bit, so we're not moving him, which is not the worst thing in the world. He is 34, so he's not going to be spending a lot of time with this team. But we finally got rid of Aaron Wildig, and what will be the rating for this? It is a C rating. They feel like we could have got more, but it was a good price. 115 was a transfer sum. Player market value was 110, and best possible deal was 140. So not a bad move that was, especially with the depth and the youth that we have at the position. After a 3-1 defeat, we get a 2-1 defeat to Swindon Town, so it continues. And we gotta really figure out what we're gonna do to make this tactic better, or make the team start performing with some goals. 31% possession to 69%. 16 shots to 7, 4 chances to 4 chances. It is not looking good right now. Fast forward another week, we're here with Borough, and we finally get some positive news after a 2-game losing streak here in EFL League 2. A 53% percentage rate when a possession, I should say. 47% possession for Borough, and 9-11 shots, 6 chances on our side. As you can see here, the ratings, you had a goal from McLaughlin and Houdlin, and then no goals on the other side, so a clean sheet for Townsend. So finally some positives coming from this team, and we need more of that moving forward, because Cristiano Ronaldo managerial career right now is not looking great. So let's fast forward to another matchup. We're trying to get as far as we can in this season without making this episode too long, and then we'll jump into more storylines once we figure out some of the youth talent we could possibly call up. But right now we got no answers there either, so we're down with what we have for a team right now, and trying to make the most of it. And we're sitting here at 21 in the league table, which is the bottom half, 2-0-5. We have no draws so far, and we're a long way away from competing to potentially receive a promotion, which is the goal at the end of the day. And just like that, a week ahead, we're facing Crew Alexandra, and we get smoked 4-2, the final score. Baker Richardson with a goal in this one, and then our other goal was from Houdlin, but 2 goals in the second half put this game away for Crew Alexander. So this is a frustrating team, and the tactic right now is not terrible. It's kind of a base gegenpress, and we got a poacher on attack, we got a target forward on attack, inside forward that's roaming, deep lying playmaker on build up, a balanced box to box midfielder. We also got a winger on balance, we got a wing back on balance, a build up ball playing defender, a ball playing defender on defend, and a wing back on balance. And maybe we can make a change here and put this ball playing defender on defend, make sure he stays back. We'll have the wing back be balanced, we'll have this wing back be balanced. We could actually make these more of a full back and make sure that they stay back a little bit more, because it seems like right now we're kind of getting worked, and we can't put him on the full back or it'll break the tactic. So let's go ahead and put a defender out there in the middle. We'll actually leave that as a ball playing. We'll put a defender on this side and make sure that it's on defend, and then we'll put this ball playing defender on build up and see if this helps the team a little bit. Keep the sweeper keeper, the build up deep lying playmaker. We could actually even do defend if we wanted to, and see if this helps. We got to figure out what we could do with this tactic to get some success, because it hasn't looked good in the previous couple of games, or actually I should just say the last game, when we get smoked by Crew Alexander. We get Salford City. Now Salford City is 19th, we're 24th, so hopefully we get a win in this one. And another 4-2 thumping by Salford City. As you can see, Baker Richardson with the goal, and then you also had Glennon with the goal. So it was 2-2 at halftime, and then Salford City with 2 goals in the 30th minute. Actually, it was 2-0 going into halftime, and then in the second half we scored 2, but 2 more were added for Salford City. This game was never in reach as we lose another one, and honestly we're just scratching our head because we don't know what to do, and there's going to be a lot we got to work on to figure out what we want to do with this squad. We're sitting here in the league table. We are 24th right now. We are 24th at 2-0-7 with 6 points, a -5 goal differential, and we really need to figure it out right now. We really need to figure it out. We're here in October, and this is probably where I'm going to end the sim while we've tried to potentially come up with a better tactic for the next time out, as we face a few guys here. We got Bradford City in the first one, then we got Harrogate, we got Sheffield, Gillingham, and then we got Fleetwood here in October. November we got a few games. We got a cup game as well, and hopefully next time we could potentially get to the end of December. The only thing is, when we do these quick sims, we really don't get the full effect of each game, but with the quick sim you get a little further in the season, and you know, we want to and get more ideas on this youth squad and this youth academy, because we got to figure out who we could call up from here. Right now it looks like the goalkeeper Cano is somebody we could call up. Same thing with the striker Tilia, he's somebody we could call up. Other than that, everybody else looks like they're a little too good potential wise for us to call up based on our rule. Remember, 73 potential is the highest that we could go with. So hopefully, you know, we could also get some money, because right now we can't even sign any of these youth squad guys, or I mean these scout report guys from our youth scouts. So none of this is good right now. The career of Cristiano Ronaldo as a manager has gotten off to a terrible start, and I like to blame myself, because it's definitely a newbie trying to get this done. But that's gonna do it for this one. If you're enjoying the content, please down below like, comment, and subscribe. I'm your boy Is Nefarious, and I am out of here.